is easy to think that somebody has it all figured out. Because my hair is brushed and I have breakfast when I wake up, I must not have care in the world. And people assume that if you cannot see it, it's not really there. But sometimes the most painful demons are the ones they can't even see. So we learn how to smile, how to grin and bear it, because nobody likes to talk about the tough stuff. Hell, I don't like to talk about the tough stuff. Anxiety is real. Trust me, I would know. So you gave me Dancr, a new way to tell you how I feel. With all my thoughts going crazy in my head, sometimes I find it hard to speak, hard to breathe. But then, I dance. Dance attracts my emotions, does the hard part for me, helps you figure out when I'm scared, or maybe just simply confused. Dancr encourages me to keep improving, to never give up. I can dance with you, but I can also just dance with me. I don't have to hold my emotions inside. Because dance will show me that given time, we will get through.
That was basically Dancr and how it's used. So it's designed for somebody that suffers from anxiety. Now, I found that 1 in 6 Australians supposedly suffer from anxiety, which is a pretty big thing. Anxiety, when it hits, it can hit hard. And often one of the biggest ways to deal with it is through therapy. Now, Dancr is designed for a self-aware user, so they want to be able to use it during their therapy process with their therapist, maybe with the potential without their therapist, a bit of both, but they don't want to become reliant on it. They want it to aid their progress and help them deal with situations and cope with their anxiety levels. But in the long term, they obviously want to be able to move off it. So this is Dancr. It is an interactive sock-like form, basically, and this is it. Now, the actual technology components of it is it's got built-in trackers on the base that obviously track your dance movements. Now, it's exploring dance movement therapy, which is an actual form of a recovery system, and it's used as in therapy, someone is exploring a situation, now their anxiety levels are going to change over that situation, and obviously dance as a form itself is a very good way of expressing your emotion, but your emotion levels are going to change, and when they do, your dance movements are going to get more vigorous or slower or faster pace, etc. And that is what Dancr tracks, so it tracks your movements. Now it tracks that through, I'm not very good at pronouncing the terms, but accelerometers and sensors in the base of the foot, like GPS tracker to see where the movement is. And it actually hooks up with your therapist or your own smart device, whether it's an iPhone or iPad, and it displays it on a screen. Now, there is an app linked to it, and it displays the movement so they see it more in a visual form. They see where you're pressing harder on the ground, where you're actually moving at certain times. And they are connected, so in order to know your connection levels, Dancr has inbuilt lights to it. So when it's red, it's obviously not connected. When it's orange, the Dancr product is pairing between the two devices. When it's actually in use, the lights are blue on the top. Now, they're just a light indicator. They're not actually for you to acknowledge. Obviously, you'd be able to acknowledge when it's blue at the time it's in use. And the Arduino actually hooked up. I don't know if it's going to be easy for you guys to tell over there. But basically, it's sensing pressure levels, etc. And that's feedback that's given to the therapist. So there's kind of two users in the situation. But then there's also the light that was on, changes colour based on how the shoe's being used. And also for the actual Dancr, it has the ability to tell them, if they're freaking out in the moment, they might not know. It sends a slight vibration. I don't know if you can hear it or feel it. I can bring it over later. There's a vibration that runs through the sole of the shoe. Now, it doesn't last for an exceptionally long period of time. It's more of a massaging feeling. So sole of their foot and saying, hey, your arousal levels are way too high and you need to calm down a little bit while you're dancing. So that's kind of the interaction between the shoe and the two users. So there's two different feedbacks between them. And obviously it's all built in, so it's built to be very comfortable. I can kind of demonstrate a little bit. I got it to fit. So it just goes on like a sock. You've got the light feedback down there, all the trackers built through there, and they obviously just wear it very comfortably. It's not meant to be an invasive product at all. Now, the actual use of it is you've got your anxious person and they come into the therapist, and it's not a quick process. It happens over multiple sessions, maybe months, weeks, however long the therapy process is. But in the end, they come out, they've used it, and they don't need it anymore. The therapist keeps it and reuses it. So that is the idea on how Dancr is interacted with. Is there any questions?
Sorry?
Do you have any questions? I don't know if I've got some.
I thought you could hear it was great. Use the voiceover and the soundtrack, you know, to
Set the mood.
play with emotions.
Set the mood.
It's great. No, it works really well. So, no, it's very effective. And yeah, well written narrative.
Yeah, I found it was kind of the easier way. Like, I didn't know how to display like the lights and stuff, so I thought it was the easier way of like explaining, you know, it tracks me and it helps me and stuff like that.
No, really. Something that was communicated really well. So I thought that was excellent.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, and look, yeah. A
You
good
want to show
demonstration
them
of the
sample
product.
products and everything?
Yeah,
Okay.
you've demonstrated it, you stuck it on your foot,
Yep. And there is a little
get
vibration.
how it works, so yeah.
Cool.
So is the vibratory output, is it as a massage or a therapy kind of thing?
It's like,
or is
it can be modified. The way I was using it at the moment is I didn't want it to be invasive. So the point is they're focusing on the situation. Maybe the therapist is going through a scenario with them and they're stressed. But as arousal levels increase, they need a way of saying, look, you're too stressed out, just calm down. So what better way of calming down than getting a massage? But the actual vibration itself in the sole of the foot. So the sole of the foot is not the most delicate part. It's not going to get like tingles or anything like that. I think it's something here. That's what I'm talking about. The vibration, it's just like you can feel it in there. It's just a soft vibration that it's meant to just calm down. It doesn't last continuously, just a few seconds, just to say, calm down your nerves and start again. And it obviously has potential to be moved further. Maybe there's other signifiers. Maybe it could go to the beat of the song if they want to get higher arousal levels in a good way. Maybe they have to start with a C track or something. That kind of thing.
So I like that product because it's part of the ecosystem. It's not using a new tool, which is so it's an embodied activity. Dance is so engaging. You don't want to have an additional.
And that's the point of dance movement therapy, is that you use the dance to explore emotions. This is basically just a tool to aid that.
So is this just a freebie that you
That
just chop it?
that was a very long experimentation process. I basically just went and got a wetsuit thing and it came up to like there, so I like chopped it down and re-added it. We tried sewing material and it did not work. It wasn't working. It seemed to turn out alright. And that's the kind of material I was aiming for. Like, I didn't want anything too thick, but I didn't want a sock because it's really thin and just like knitted kind of stuff. So that was perfect.
So is the arousal a problem with anxious people?
Well, I think the problem with anxiety is it's so up and down and there's so many triggers. And say you had a scenario you're going through, maybe it's just getting to uni, they got anxious about something. At that point that they may be suffering a panic attack or something, their arousal spikes dramatically and maybe they find it hard to breathe and they can't concentrate, they can't think straight. So the therapist works through, one, the tracking is to see where in the situation that was happening, but the feedback is to notify the actual getting really stressed out and maybe they can't tell or they don't know, you need to calm down.
In the context of dance, it could be a good thing.
Yeah, that's the point of the dance, that it allows you to